Welcome to the program tonight. Welcome to the conversation. Let's get right down to it. 61 or more percent of Latinos voted for now President Donald Trump because of their hatred for black people. And now these same people are crying and begging all across the internet for black people to help them now that the mass deportation project has begun. You were told exactly what was going to happen before you cast your vote. You danced, you sang, you mimicked us, you made fun of us. You know what? I live in a neighborhood where there are a lot of Latinos and Spanish people and Mexicans, and I can tell you the racism and the bigotry and hate that they have for us, it is real. But I pay it no mind because I grew up in the neighborhood where I live and I know how to make it. I want you to see this video tonight. Check it out for yourself. And as they say, let's roll the tape.
Dear Latinos for Trump, now that you've seen that your master is going against your own interests, such as we've been warning you for the past couple years or so, now you want to come back and unite? Oh, we have to unite with each other. Fuck you. Go to your master,
Warning
get back on
profanity.
your knees, and assume the position.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren and I'm Maureen. So in today's episode, Latinos are really begging for the unification of Latin and Black community. Right, but the Black community are coming out in droves to tell them the famous word, "We told you so." And to them, they feel like Latinos is high time for them to learn their lessons because according to them, if there was ever a time for people to unite, that was during the ballot box, and they'd say they want Latinos, but they did not listen. Right, so as you all know, about 62% of them voted for Trump, but the remaining percentage who did not vote for Trump are also coming out to throw them under the box, as most of them think that whatever they all voted for in Trump, they're getting it in equal measure right now. Right, guys, we don't want to leave our commentaries right now. Just leave your comment on what you think about this episode, and then we'll come back with our commentaries here. Consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch.
Look at this, y'all.
This is so crazy that we voted for Trump. We trust him with the words that he promised us Latinos. This is crazy that starting next week, multiple cities will be getting immigration. That is so crazy that multiple people are scared to go to work. When I work at, a lot of Latinos did not go to work. And that's crazy because we have a living too. I hate that I voted for him. Now I'm so scared for my family and y'all's family. Y'all, we need to come together and do something.
She followed up with this picture post of her looking distraught. And she puts up at the top, when my grandma woke me up, she said, just in case if ICE takes me, make sure you don't go down the wrong path and make sure you keep family together. And my grandpa texted me saying, if ICE shows up at my work, take care of your family and don't go the path I took, mija. Los amo a todos. Los amos a todos means I love you all. I know she wasn't talking to the black community when she said that we have to unite. She's talking to the Hispanic community because they do need to unite. Black people tried to tell them before the election. So I know they can't be talking. She can't be talking to black people. This is what we mean when we say that you vote against your own interests. I don't know what it is that you heard that made you think voting for Donald Trump was going to make you safe, because what I heard all throughout the campaign season, I heard Donald Trump repeatedly saying that there will be mass deportations and they will be bloody. And then towards the end of the campaign season, he and Stephen Miller kicked it up a notch and said that the mass deportations would include overturning birthright citizenship. And then they told you that they would get rid of the entire family. They were going after DACA recipients. They told you this before you went into the voting booth to vote against your interest and your family's interest. When you went into the voting booth and voted for Donald Trump, you voted for him to deport your family. These are the consequences of your actions.
This is so crazy that we voted for Trump. We trust him with the words that he promised us Latinos.
It's called news, my brother,
that
news.
He promised was that he was going to deport you.
I hate that I voted for him. Now I'm so scared for my family and y'all family. Y'all, we need to come together and do something about this.
The coming together to do something about this, it's called voting. And that happened a couple of months ago on November 5th. And you still decided to walk your Latina ass up in that voting booth and vote for a man that repeatedly told you that he was coming for you to deport you. And at this point, more than anything, I want you to get exactly what you voted for. I want you to feel the powerful consequences of your vote. If they do take your grandma and your grandpa, I want you to know that you did that to them. They got taken away because of you. And for the rest of us as a community, we can never let MAGA voters like her forget how damaging their vote was. We need to constantly remind them. Never let them forget. As far as us getting together to do something about it, I will never in my life trust a Latino for Trump. You're a danger to yourself, you're a danger to your family, and you're a danger to your community. And I want nothing to do with you, and I don't feel sorry for you. I've been getting some comments calling me divisive, saying, right now's not the time for finger pointing. We need to work with Latinos for Trump. Latinos for Trump already divided us when they walked into that voting booth on November 5th and made a conscious decision to sell out their family, to sell out their friends, and to sell out their entire community as a whole to ICE. And for what exactly? A pat on the head from the whites? For white proximity? For white validation? I am not the one causing the division, so don't come here and try to gaslight me. I voted to keep their families safe. I'm not the one who voted to have ICE raids on their families. Latinos for Trump are the ones who voted to have ICE raids on their own families and their own friends and their own community. A majority of Latinos foolishly gave your votes to Trump. And how did Trump thank you? By making it his very top priority on day one to deport as many of you, as many of us, as he possibly can. He said, get the fuck out. It doesn't matter if you're illegal or not. It doesn't matter if you're a criminal or not. He wants you out because you're not white.
Because I've been thinking a lot about this, and I know it's going to be controversial, but I'm actually rooting for Latinas and Latinos who voted for Trump. I really am. I really hope that they get everything that they voted for, and I hope that they never forget who they voted for. So when they're waving goodbye to their undocumented partner because they got deported back, I want them to remember who they voted for. When their abuelita needs life-saving care, but there is no Medicaid because it's been slashed to the bone, I want them to remember who they voted for. When they watch their nieces and nephews struggle because birthright citizenship is gone and all of a sudden their family isn't welcome, I want them to remember who they voted for. When they have a child with special needs but there's no funding, no resources, no Department of Education, I want them to remember who they voted for. When all of a sudden their family's neighborhood is targeted with more policing instead of community support, I want them to remember who they voted for. When there's no money for your family but a whole bunch for billionaires, I want them to remember who they voted for. When environmental protections vanish and the air is so disgustingly polluted that their kids develop asthma or something similar, I want them to remember who they voted for. When discrimination increases and they are harassed incessantly because it will never be white, I want them to remember who they voted for. Call me petty, but sometimes getting exactly what you voted for is the only way to understand it.
Y'all, we need to come together and do something.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Because remember I told y'all that it was going to happen? Remember we were telling y'all that they didn't want y'all here, and we did? Remember we were telling y'all that voting for Harris wasn't gonna really be in our best interest or protect us. Remember we had told you that it wasn't a selfish decision, but voting for Harris or Biden would have been ensuring that all communities were safer. Remember we had told you, because we were trying to come together. Remember, we was trying to come together, right? And then y'all said, no, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all, little darks. Remember that? You remember that? Surely I wish it hadn't come to this, but I'm finding it hard to find a lick of sympathy for people who disrespected the fuck out of us because we were trying to say, hey, don't let lepers eat your face. But here you go. Okay. Come together, my ass.
I will say what a lot of people won't say. This comment comes from a video that I made in the Latino community to unite. Currently, the
Hold on for a moment. Let me correct this real quick because I should have put this on silence. I didn't. My bad, y'all. All right, now let's get back to the program. You're watching Tyrone Bowman Live. Latinos who regretted their vote for now President Donald Trump, begging black people to come to help them.
there is less than 10% of people of color in STEM. Use my platform to make sure that children of color have better opportunities into these careers. But every time I speak about this, I get a lot of comments like this. Majority, if not all, come from the Hispanic Latino community. It breaks my heart to see the racism that exists in the Latino community.
And it's
Racism
real.
against other Hispanics. Racism against black people. I'm not saying all Hispanics. As an Afro-Latina, that breaks my heart.
Now, you guys are not just getting people with criminal records. They are doing checkpoints. And with the immigrant, so this is what happened. Yesterday, my mom got pulled over at 10 a.m. outside of the house. But my mom is a citizen. She does have a citizenship to America. So they pulled her over and they advised her that they have a checkpoint and that they need to see her driver license or documentation. So my mom showed her ID and they let her go. This morning, my dad was pulling out to leave. My mom was going to meet him out in the front because they were going to take this same car, but they were just going to park the other car on the street. And as my dad was pulling out, a bunch of undercovers, pulled him over and asked him for a driver license and said, we are doing a checkpoint. We need to see, driver license, etc. Obviously, my dad is an immigrant. My dad does not have documentation. So obviously they detained my dad. So my mom pulled over and she called me crying. The unfortunate part is that I'm in Texas because it's my grandpa's 90th birthday party, his dad's birthday party today. So, my mom, he had left his phone in the truck. I took him to the center, and then my dad called my mom from there and told her, they're taking me straight to Las Vegas. They have executive orders to pick up whoever is illegal, is an immigrant, and send them straight through. Not even put them in the jail. They're going to detain them at the Las Vegas Detention Center. All the immigrants that are already there, they're going to go drop them off in TJ. He left his phone in the truck. Luckily, the ICE detainee or police officer let my mom take his phone back so he can call us when he does get to TJ. So they met.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have to bring part 2 of this on tomorrow as my iPad has run out of power. So until then, never surrender, never quit.